Welcome welcome all to KFL tonight, man. Week 4. Man, what a day, Blake, of fishing. Dude, wow.
The guy submitted so many fish today, I feel like I worked an 8 to 5 today. I judged photos all day long, man. Like, since the moment I woke up till about 10 minutes ago, like 20 minutes ago, I've been judging photos. I mean,
yeah, man, for sure. What an evening slate that we had. The morning slate was fantastic. Again, a lot of playoff implications going on here, man. Some teams laid the hammer down and the nail in the coffin to this week, man. We're making a big old playoff push. We only got really some teams only have like two games left. Some have 3 games left. We are getting ready. We're done with week 4, getting ready to go into week 5. And then the playoffs, man. That's what it's all about. Playoffs and playoffs.
Yeah, playoffs.
So, yeah, man, this is exciting, man. And we got some guys on wanting to talk about their days. And we're going to start off right now with the evening game that just ended. And we're going to get Mr. Brian Howe and Jared Brockelman on from the Lone Star Bandits, who are victorious tonight, boys. Hello. How are y'all doing, man?
Yeah. Good. Great.
Guys, congratulations. You went on the road and got the W, man. You guys won 184.75 to 176. A really good matchup, man. We called it an even game. That's just, in kayak fishing, that's pretty close to as even as you can get, man. And what a great win, dude. Jared, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, congratulations, man, on the victory.
They're just not impressed.
I mean, we're tired, dude. It was a grind. It's hot.
Guys, yeah. I mean, I get to fish with both y'all, personally. Brian, I know you got a little experience with Decker. I know it's been real good to you, and also snake bit you pretty bad.
Yeah.
How was the day out there for you, man? Because, Greg and I, obviously, we talked before the matchups and stuff, and I was like, Hal's either going to come out and just light it up, or he's going to text me afterwards and be like, Slake sucks. Like, I don't like fishing here. And, man, you got off to a hot start, man. Talk about it.
I started catching them. I think I had my first bite 5 minutes in after I got to my first spot, and it was just on fire for maybe 2 hours or so. I was getting pretty consistent bites, and eventually it kind of slowed down for me. I was just punching the whole time. That's it. I had one 100-yard stretch of grass, and I stayed there for most of the day. I kind of rotated 2 other spots too, but I didn't have a bite at the other spots at all.
Yeah, it was cracking me up because I'm just gonna spill the beans here. I was judging the photos, and the spot you were catching them in was a spot that I had fished, and you were like, "Yeah, you did fish what I fished." Yeah, right, bro. Come on, what's up?
Well, my primary stuff when I practiced, it was not as good as I thought it was going to be, right?
Right.
So I was like, all right, I'm gonna have to go, up here and find new stuff, whatever. And then had one bite there punching, and I think I had a 21 something in practice too punching up there.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna start there and see how it goes. I mean, it was afternoon game. It was sunny for most of the day. We had some clouds, but it didn't last for that long. You have clouds for a little bit, and then it'd be sunny again. And I just figured, they're gonna be under that grass, so I just stuck with that. And I thought, the last hour or 2 hours or whatever, we're talking about, I thought it was gonna be good then. But really, the sun's still pretty high in the sky, to be honest.
Yeah.
It never got good for me.
If you're like Jared there, all you have to do is hit a button and go, man. You wouldn't have to be pedaling back and being Jared, let's talk about your day, man. These evening games are no joke. You have to start at the dead of sun and then, go through the evening, man. How was your day out there, bud?
Yeah, I was on a struggle bus pretty much from the get-go today. I had already planned on fishing up here in the same area as Hal, and it turns out we were fishing some of the same spots. But I had decided this morning that there was a main lake point that had some offshore structure. I was going to go check it out first, and if there were fish there, I was going to hang out for a little bit and see if I could catch them. So I went over there, and sure enough, there were fish all over this brush pile. But how it goes sometimes, just because they're there doesn't mean they'll eat. So I couldn't get anything there, and I wound up coming up here pretty close to where Brian was, fished near him a little bit, went to another spot. Also a spot where you fished, Blake, because I could tell that from the picture with you and Mockabee.
Yeah, I mean, to be clear, yeah, I mean, to be real clear, Brian and I did not tell Brian any of the spots we fished.
No.
He just said, I'm not fishing your stuff. And because, I was giving Brian a little bit of grief. I was like, put my blood Maccabees on him, dude. What are you going to do about that?
Yeah.
This isn't Seminole, okay? But he still did the business as he always does.
Yeah. Well, guys, I mean, you and Alabama right now, I mean, they got a 0 in the loss column right now. And, man, that is it's just going to be a battle between you guys so far. And, man, you guys are putting a firm hold on the South end. And you guys just keep on putting victory after victory. And this road win is huge because Southeast Texas is no joke. And coming down there and taking this victory out, it's going to really do you well on the head-to-heads. And I think, listen, do you guys have a victory over them already?
Yeah, at Fairfield, we beat them too.
So you swept them, man, and so that could have closed the door in Southeast. I mean, it's hard to tell, man, but that is huge. That is huge. With only 6 games in the in KFL during the regular season, man, that is phenomenal. Congratulations, guys, and man, big things happening. You never know, man. Fighting for that home field advantage, though.
Amazing team win on the road. Like Brockelman, I know you're in the backpack a little bit today, but like no shame in that. I mean, that's just how it goes sometimes. But the Bandits have typically had a guy that is just hammering down. Yeah, and there was a wide range of contributions for them today. So nice to see you guys pull it together as a team and steal a road victory, man. Really well done.
Is Jeff Isham on? Can you hear me, Jeff?
I can hear you.
Did you have your camera on?
I don't know what happened. I put it in my pocket because I'm coming up to the ramp and now the picture's gone. But
I got you. All right, so no problem. We could talk to you, man. We could talk to the little white dot in the middle of the screen. But Jeff, man, how was your day, buddy, out there, man? Congratulations on your win, bud.
Man, I think Jared and I were on the same bus. It seemed like there for a while. My original plan was to fish off a point and do some cranking, and I was marking fish there, but just couldn't get them fired up. Tried that for a while, and then ended up flipping reeds, and that's where I caught my fish. I think I had one that stayed on the board, but I think everything else got called out. But it was a slow day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, I still think it was a great team win, man. You guys did a fantastic job, man. And, as I said, it looked like Brian went up, put on 129.5. Brian, you were top 4. Is that a good day by your standards, my friend?
I mean, it was a good day. I wish I would have got 10 fish, but other than that, and I wish I would have fished a little cleaner. Like, I lost 2 good ones. Like they bit it when it was on the fall, and then they kind of just swam off with it. I didn't notice it first, and I'm like, I don't think it's 20 foot deep right here. I just keep going and going, and then I set the hook. But when they're like, they can swim away from you, your line kind of you feel like you have tension on the fish, but you don't really. It's like tension on the grass, and you go to set it, and it just cuts through that grass. So that's what happened on 2 of those fish, and it cost me. 2 with they were probably like 18, 19 inches. I saw one of them and the other one I didn't see, but I felt it and I was like, thought it was a pretty decent one. So I don't know. That's other than that, no complaints from me.
We're gonna also have to give some love to Southeast Texas because those guys showed up as well. Carlos Estrada put up 122.75 inches. He was basically 7 inches behind you, Brian. He was top 5. Had a top 5 day. Man, that was a great performance. Derek Miller for your team put up 65 inches. So I mean, honestly, between Brian, Derek, and Jeff Isham, and then Jared was there too. Put up an 18 on the board, man. I mean, again, it was a good overall team win, man. Not everybody has to put up 7 fish. It was just you got to just keep on calling and calling and calling, man. And hey, that's awesome, man. Great job, great team win on the road, man. That's got to feel great.
It's the best team win I've seen out of this team. They have had some all-star weeks. Louvier had an amazing week. Campbell had an amazing week. This is the first time I've seen them kind of put to the grindstone in a close matchup, and you guys did amazing to get a dub over a team that is very, very good on that lake. They are very, very good.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, looks like you guys have a couple weeks off. You guys are bide on week 5, and looks like your next matchup is going to be. Let me see here. Looks like the Louisiana Hurricanes are at home. You guys are at home, so yeah.
Ooh, is that going to be on Athens?
It's on Athens, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Oh man,
how that's gonna go.
Wow. Do we get to see finally the premiere of Mr. Clifton Allen?
Yeah, he will be there.
I think so.
I hope we are not live and we have a little time to edit out some things because that might be a little rough.
I want to see it, man. It's on Pride Network. We want to see the premiere of Mr. Clifton Allen, guys. Well, guys, be safe going home. Congratulations on your victory, man. Awesome job. Hey, congratulations to Southeast Texas, man. They didn't let you guys just take it from them, man. I mean, they put up a great fight, man, and it was a great matchup. And again, we called it even. And again, I think that was a good call because it was anybody's game, and it could have gone either way. So
yeah, it was a battle all day.
Yep,
great match
for sure. Well, boys, y'all have a good one, man. Be safe going home. Congratulations on the great victory. Take care, y'all.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Take care.
I mean, you heard it here first. Brian Howell under 150 inches. He's on the decline. His career is
it's over. Let's go get into the first game that actually we talked about this morning. That was the West Virginia and Motor City Ambassadors.
Yeah,
and we've got from West Virginia. It's Chris Schaefer driving home. Chris, man, how you doing, buddy?
Doing good on the last hour of this trip. I'm almost home.
Oh man, wow! That's a long drive, my friend, for sure. Talk about the day, man. You guys,
I'm in the mountains right now.
You're breaking up.
I'm in the mountains, so if I lose service,
yeah, no problem. We'll get you here on.
If you freeze up, we'll talk about your immaculate facial hair. No problem.
So, you guys take the loss. It's 177 to 138.5, man. But again, a pretty valiant effort. I know you guys were disappointed not being able to fish St. Clair. I'm sure that changed your plans, but unfortunately, due to safety issues, you had to fish a different lake, man. But you guys, again, no shame in the numbers that you guys put up for a lake that you didn't know. But now you guys are on a 2-game slide, man. What's the plan going into this, man, for the remainder of the season?
Plan's pretty simple. We got to win from here on out. So just got to figure out a way to do it. No matter, if it's about 1 inch or 30, just got to win the next 2.
Yeah, for sure. I've been telling everybody who I've been talking to, man, West Virginia by far has the greatest home field advantage in the KFL. Is that true, Chris?
I would say so, yeah. I put it up there.
Chris, is there anything, we're on week 4 here. When you're going into matchups, when you're out there fishing, are you starting to notice, like, what's the recipe for success? Because, you guys have had a mixed bag. You've had some good wins. You've had some tough losses. Is there a combination or things that need to go right for these teams looking for wins? Without giving away, everything, are you starting to realize that throughout the season?
Well, our 2 losses have been on the road, and just like in any sport, whenever you go on the road, you got to minimize your mistakes, and that's something we're still working on as a team. Is just, we had the fish on last week, and we had some fish on this week that would have made it really interesting, but we didn't minimize the mistakes. And so we're just going to have to get better at that and hopefully get one at home and get one on the road for the end of the season.
It's a great point. I mean, great point. I mean, we talk about in football and other sports, you limit your turnovers, and I guess we can call turnovers lost fish. And
yeah, that's a great point. I mean, it's a great analogy, man. Chris, it looks like you two are on a bye week, August 7th. I think it's a much needed bye week for the West Virginia team. You guys have been just hammering it since day one. But now, after the bye week, week 6, man, you guys get Motor City Ambassadors again. It's a home and home kind of series for you guys. It's payback time.
Yeah, and they'll be on the New River, so we had to learn some new waters this weekend. I think they're going to do the same when they come to West Virginia. So it'll be interesting.
No doubt, man. And I don't know how experienced these guys are going to be on the river, man. I mean, Chris, it's easy for us because we're river fishermen, but to guys who've never fished really like running rivers, it could be very daunting and how to read a river, how to read a rapid, how to read, current breaks and everything else, man. Most of the time they're going to be distracted because they're trying to figure out how to get through the rapid and not fish it. You know what I mean? And so that's a huge home field advantage. Yeah,
I mean, we talked about it today. Lots of teams go on the road and they on these river systems, man. I mean, we keep bringing it up for a reason. I mean, it's a struggle. So, I mean, Chris, does that play into y'all's decision with choosing the river? Or?
Oh, 100%. Our home field advantage in West Virginia is our shallow, rocky rivers, and I mean, it gives us the home field advantage because it minimizes what people can use as far as electronics go. Motors, all those things. So it plays to our core really well.
For sure. And then you finish the season coming to Washington and have a little showdown against the Warhawks on a very famed river, Shenandoah River, which is a smallmouth sanctuary, and another river. So it's looking pretty good for the West Virginia team to finish back to back on rivers. But like you said, man, the season's not over by any means. But you guys definitely have to win out, man, and hopefully you get some help.
Yep, that's all we can do is win the games in front of us and then see what else happens. So
yeah, man.
Things are shaping up where it's going to get really interesting going into the final week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no doubt. And that's all you can do is give yourself an opportunity and chance. And another thing too, Chris, you guys, your point spreads, you're not losing by a lot. That helps. You're not getting blown out.
Yeah, they fished very, very well. I mean, their matches have been close. They're not going on the road and getting blown out, which is not what we have been seeing. With the caliber of anglers we have, I thought there would be a lot closer road matchups, and we saw a lot of home cooking this week.
Yeah, absolutely. I know, Chris, I don't know if you heard us or not, but I mean, you guys are sitting pretty in terms of like the point spread, because you guys are not getting blown out at all. You're keeping the games relatively close.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we're trying to do. I mean, the point spread is big as far as the tiebreaker for the playoffs. So we've been paying close attention to that all season.
That's right. Yeah, it goes head to head, and then the point spread, man. So, yeah, it's key. So, well, Chris, drive safe, man. Get yourself home to your family, man. As I said, I know it's a tough one to swallow. It's a long way home, but somebody's got to win, somebody's got to lose, and man, just finish strong for the rest of the games, man. You guys are gonna be in good shape. All right, we're gonna let him go. He sounds like he's out of service there, man. So we're moving on. Let's go ahead and get the Rebels on with their victory against Pennsylvania. Toby the Tank and John the Godfather DeCenzo, congratulations on a 3-game winning streak. Godfather, how's that feel, my friend?
Awesome. It was great to, this was my first event to finally get out there and fish with the team. and it was great. It was great to get out there, contribute, and be able to put up some big fish today. And we had some handicaps this morning. One of our guys went down. His truck broke down on the ramp,
Right.
and he couldn't even launch. So, we're fishing with 3 sticks all day.
Yeah,
against
and which
their
is even
4.
more impressive. I mean, it's 3 against 4, so that's never good. But
Yeah.
one advantage you had was you're at home, and then John, you came out firing, man. I mean,
Oof.
John,
Yeah, I made the smackdown. I'm familiar with the lake. I don't live very far from it. I haven't fished it much this year. I was able to pre-fish it Monday, and I got into a big one, almost a 22. So I kind of figured out what was going on there from past history. I laid off the lake for a week, and I just wrote down a list of spots I was going to hit. From fishing them over the years, and that's what I did. I hit spot A, spot B, spot C, and like 20% of those spots produce fish. But it was enough. I got some big bites when I needed them, and I got to make a joke. They were hitting the cannoli. That's what they were whacking. They were hitting the rat-a-tat. All my fish came on this cannoli-looking bait. So they must be Italian fish in that lake too.
Yeah, I got you, man. So, you put up 93 inches. Before we even blinked. It was it was a very quick start for you this morning. Toby, when you saw the Godfather put that kind of bag up early, man, what does that do to the team, buddy?
I know the lake just as well as he does, so I know it can be done there. I just happen to pick the wrong side of the lake, I guess.
I hear you, man. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, man. It's just it is what it is, man. But it seemed like most of the guys were just in this dink fest, just could not get out, and it was like a big bite early, and then everything kind of just shut down from there, right?
It's pretty much how that lake usually runs.
Gotcha.
It was very fitting
one of
that
my
the
19s
Godfather.
late in the day.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I was like, it's very fitting for me that the Godfather put all his cronies on the weaker spots, and he went and took care of the big fish. You know what I'm saying?
No, hey,
Right.
you want to know something funny about that is I actually was going out into the big lake as a decoy because those guys were following me on Fish Brain, and I had some fish log there, and historically, where Toby and Catucci were fishing, we expected big numbers out of that part of the lake. And I was just hoping to get out there and, bump rudders with the rest of them guys, keep them honest. I was the only guy. Basically, I was surrounded by 4 bronze backs. And I didn't expect to have the success I did out there. I really didn't. But it's the way it worked out today. The big sides hit and miss. Today it was hit. So,
well, this is one of the few tournaments. Honestly, that your guy has been, absolutely on fire. Chris Catucci actually ended up a top 10 performance, man. He put up a 21.25 there, man. when you put up yours at almost, 22, and then Chris puts up a tank. Look, that's just that's impressive, man. When you got that kind of firepower on your team, John. You're sitting well inside now the cut line for the playoffs. With this victory, you do have a matchup with Massachusetts Maulers that are coming up, man. That's gonna be a huge game because they have one up on you right now, head to head. But one loss going into it, 3-game winning streak. You're 3-1. You got to take care of business from here on out, though. You cannot let the foot off the gas here. No way.
No, absolutely not. I'm not traveling to Pennsylvania to do the Susky against those guys. I know they're licking their chops. They can't wait to get us out there, but that's okay. I got confidence in the 4 guys that are going out there. We got a good mix of guys. And we're playing our strengths. We don't mind taking a back seat to a lake.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of infighting on who's going to fish, who's not going to fish. So we feel good.
You feel pretty confident going from a lake system like you guys were at now, a reservoir to a river.
I feel
Well,
just
here we
just as
go.
confident.
Just as
Yeah.
confident. Wow.
Yeah, we've all fished the Susquehanna. We've been there 2-3 times each. We haven't put up great numbers there. I did decent there a couple of years ago. But the rest of the guys, we just got confidence fishing. We got confidence, period. It doesn't matter
Yep.
where you put us.
Well, there's no doubt you guys were one of the most confident teams in the NFL, the KFL, man. It's pretty daggone apparent that you guys know what you're doing. So,
Awesome. Thank you.
well, guys, congratulations on your victory. Again, the Rebels, man, just continue to take care of business. They are 3-1, but they've got to go to Pennsylvania, and then I think they finished their season with let me see here, Massachusetts Maulers, I believe.
Yeah, the
Um,
God.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so I mean, yeah, that's going to be a big game. Big game for sure. So,
They're looking forward to it.
but hey,
You're
listen,
fishing that one, Johnny, right?
let me just say this, John. I'd rather be in your position than ours. You know what I mean? For the Warhawks.
Right? Yeah, we're fortunate, and I'd like to say thank you to you folks for even putting this on for us. Getting all this going, and we know it's the first year and stuff, but man, this is exciting. This is something we can grow, and the entertainment factor, the fishing, the sponsors.
It's fun, man.
It's going to take time,
It's fun.
but
Yep.
yeah, I think this is definitely a good thing. So
It is, no doubt.
The entire format
Okay.
is like one step above.
Well, a lot of it's on y'all. Thank y'all for coming on and sharing your fish catches with us, and to all the anglers that we've had on, and you guys coming on and talking about it. That's y'all paint the picture. Greg and I just give you the canvas.
That's it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, it's so much fun to watch. It is. It's just been a blast and see the characters evolve and just watch these stories play out, man. I mean, Tody, we talked about your story today, man. I mean, you touched a lot of people today, man. I don't know how many people watched what was going on Pride Network and all that stuff when we were talking about it, man. But man, dude, you've inspired a lot of people today, man. And win, lose, or draw, brother, that is more important in life than catching a green slimed fish, man. No doubt.
Thanks.
That's our motivating factor right there.
Yes, sir. That's right. That should be all of ours. You know what I mean? Because you can't take life for granted, man, because it can change just like that, man. And boys, go celebrate your victory with your team, and let's get it on again, man.
Yeah.
Take care, guys. Congratulations.
Yeah, we'll see you in a couple of weeks. We'll see you. We're going to see them bronze backs in a couple of weeks. We'll
Yeah,
be
exactly.
back at you.
All right, boys. Take care.
Yeah.
All right, man. Moving on to the next matchup we had, man.
Before we move on right quick,
yeah.
my greatest fear used to be like maybe being like in the water with crocodiles or something. Now it's fishing on a team with John DiCenzo and not doing well. I feel like I go in my car and it's rigged with explosives. Like,
have a couple bullet holes in your car. There's
yeah.
no, man. I mean, it's all. This is a performance business, man, and it better show up in the account, tomorrow.
He's like, "You do this to me," and I'm like, "No, John, it's not like that. I had a bad day, man. I had a couple 20s that got off, and it's like, nah,
No excuses.
yeah."
Say hello to my little friend. Next matchup, man. Arkansas Hogs, man. This is a shocker to me. Unfortunately, I gotta pay some bills with this matchup because I did not expect this. But 155 3/4 to 47.5. Man, what a beatdown that Louisiana took in Arkansas, and that's gonna feel great because it is their first victory, and celebrating their first victory is G-Man Garrett Morgan, who had a fantastic day. Garrett, congratulations, bro. I mean, what a day, man.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it was a lot of fun jumping in on this. And I wasn't set up for you guys to see some fish catches. Hopefully the next round I'll be all set up with the appropriate gear and whatnot, especially knowing we go to Caddo next.
Yeah,
Ooh.
that is not easy. Caddo
That
in the
is-
summertime. Woo.
Oh, it's a fire lake. That is, y'all are gonna enjoy that, man. That is a super fun lake. I love Caddo. By the way,
I've had
Garrett, you don't
success
got very
there.
many trophies on your wall back there. I mean, I don't know if you can see like my 2 here, but like
Yeah, you know,
yeah,
if you fish as many tournaments as I do, you get lucky every now and then.
Well, Garrett, tell people about yourself, man. I mean, that people don't know. I mean, you're new to this team, man, but you know, you got a pretty infamous name in kayak fishing, man. You're pretty well known.
Yeah, man. I popped onto the scene really around 2018. You know, as a rookie with KBF, finished second in Rookie of the Year that year, 13th nationally, and kind of grew from there. I've qualified for the Tournament Champions with Hobie the last 2 years. Finished 11th, just out of the money spot last year. You know, the last national championship at Caddo, I actually put 101.5 up on day 2, and with 6 going into the third day, before I had some guests uninvitedly follow me on day 3. But
of course.
Anyway, so you know, I've made the rounds a bit. Locally, I tend to do pretty well. I've struggled a little bit more nationally this year. You know, but I really hadn't fished as much either. You know, I really enjoy fishing shallow overall. That's more my thing. That's what I did today. You know, Lake Hamilton is actually a pretty deep lake for Arkansas. It's a clean body of water. You know, years ago, I fished with a club out of that region, and they used to love to get me on that lake because they knew I'd struggle. You know, if they got me on Hamilton or Ouachita. So the Ouachita River feeds Lake Ouachita, Lake Hamilton, and Lake Catherine, and they're kind of in a row, just boom, boom, boom. And you can fish all 3 of them about the same. So, I don't remember, was it 2019 or so when we did the FLW Cup on Lake Ouachita, I took weekend after weekend after weekend and went and figure out how to fish those lakes leading up to that event. And I'm getting 3rd in that. But, you know, I feel pretty confident down there these days. But listening to John talk, we actually had a similar strategy. Me and Corey Hopper chatted before the event. So Brad Case and his crew, they all showed up where Corey fishes. You know,
shocker.
Brad was like, you know, Corey's known for being great on Hamilton. He's like, you know, we're going to try to, you know, pull as many fish out of here as we can. Well, so Corey was kind of the decoy today. So he actually was the one that put me in the creek where I went and caught all these fish today. So he went to a different creek, and he had a hurt back. But I think, you know, that strategy of him kind of saying, hey, Garrett, go over here. Here's where you need to fish. And, dude, it worked to perfection. And, I mean, he told me yesterday, he said, hey, listen, if you go to the far back as you can in this creek where you can just you got to pick your motor up and paddle, he's like, there'll be a big head fish there with no body at all. It'll be a summertime fish, but it'll be long. It'll be a good kayak fish. And, man, I pushed all the way back there, and there was an 18-incher sitting back there. And, dude, I was pumped when I caught that fish. I was like, dang, Corey's right. There was a big head girl back here. I mean, she was all head, like hardly any body to her, but it was a good day.
They call her Sally.
Yeah. I'm about to say, that is so nice of Corey to let us
oh, my
fish
God.
know.
Yeah.
But I tell you, another cool thing was I've never caught smallmouth on Lake Hamilton, and my brother actually lives down in Hot Springs.
I saw that, man. When we were judging, I was like, man, he's catching smallmouths back there, man. That's pretty
Dude,
cool.
I mean, I looked at it like twice in the net, and I was like, is that a freaking smallmouth?
Yeah.
You know, so that was pretty cool.
Actually, I thought it was a mean mouth, man. I really did. I thought it was a mean mouth.
Yeah, that's what it looked like to me.
Dude, either way, it was cool. So, I mean, here in Arkansas, like I said, when I chimed in there for a bit, now I'll go fish the streams around here, and man, you get a smallmouth over 16 inches. That's really cool. You know, we don't have a lot of big smallmouth here, and so when I had that fish on the board, I was like, "Holy crap, man! This can be a good day." You know, so that really just made my day to catch that fish. You know, and get out there and do it. You know, posted earlier, kind of gave a little recap of what I did, but initially I was just throwing a wacky rig looking for bites and caught a couple fish. One of them measured. There was like 2 or 3 in a row that were under 14 inches. We had a 14-inch minimum. But while I was sitting there, you know, fishing one of the boat docks, I saw this fish blowing up on this seawall, and I saw this little bitty brim about this big, that it had chased out, and I started digging through my bag, and I looked for a buzz bait that had some brim pattern on it. As a 1/4 ounce buzz bait, a little bit smaller. I picked it up first cast, something popped out it, and I didn't put it down the rest of the day. And I was probably about 7 o'clock, and so I ran the seawalls between the docks, and then the walkway of the docks where the shade normally would be. We didn't have a ton of sun, but when it popped out, and I caught all my fish shallow, except there was one I caught on the front of a dock, but everything else was in probably 3 foot of water or less.
Isn't that amazing, Greg?
In the summertime, man. I mean, that's shocking to me.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that amazing though? With all the spinning rods we saw today live,
yeah,
this
finally
guy
some
is
power fishing. Finally,
hammering down on a buzzbait.
I wish we had you on air, man, because we were foaming out the mouth because we saw fairy ones all day long today, man.
Yeah,
we really did.
When Eric Jackson had that good day during the FLW, which was on Lake Ouachita, so that's just one lake up. He caught all those big fish, and I think he had over 90 inches on day one of the FLW. He caught all those big fish shallow in less than 2 foot of water. So it's something that if you watch the old FLW events with Wheeler on Ouachita, I mean that's what he would do, is just run top water, any kind of in cuts, things like that, where there's some sort of
ambush point or whatever it was. Yeah.
So those Ouachita River lakes, and Hamilton being one, you can run shallow topwater baits all day long. There's something up there roaming around, eating brim usually. So it just happened to be the right day for me to do it.
Garrett, is this your first time fishing like a team event like this?
Yeah. Dude, it was pretty cool. Although I will say, I mean, I fish a lot of Hobie events, and I feel like I fish against a lot of teams doing those.
You do. You do. Yeah, it's usually 1 versus 10, but I mean, it is the truth.
And when I
I just started the Hobies this year, and I was not ready for that, man. I didn't realize I was 1 versus 10.
Yeah, it happens.
But hey, when I do well, I feel like, not only did I beat you, but then you and you and you and you and you too.
But at least here you know what team that you're fishing against. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know what teams they are. Right. The other team has their own jerseys.
Yeah. But dude, this was cool, and I mentioned on air, Corey is a hell of a stick around here. And I've been telling people for years on a national level, hey, look for this guy's name. Look for Corey Hopper. He's going to pop up, at a big event sometime and win one of these things. He's good sick. His back is down right now. Hopefully he can be back before Caddo. Do y'all have an IR list? Did we get to replace somebody if we got an injured guy? I don't know how this all
well, unfortunately, the way this works, man, the roster moves are done. You're supposed to have 6 to 8 guys on your team, but your roster moves are done as of yesterday. So, it's going to be a decision that Kyle Burns is going to have to make, man, to figure out who's going to do what, man.
Well, yeah,
or pay for a good massage.
Well here. Yeah, that too. So I think we'll fare well, down the stretch, and hopefully, like I said, really, we just want to finish respectable and keep building on a little bit of momentum through the rest of the year.
Well, absolutely, man. I mean, taking this victory, it does feel good. I mean, there's no doubt about it. And you never know what's going to happen. But like you said, you're on Caddo Lake August 7th. And then after that, you guys are at Southeast Texas comes to Lake Conway on week 6, man. So, you guys got some work to do. But, I mean, anything's possible, man. I mean, again, anything's possible here. So we'll see.
And
we'll see what happens.
We'll be set up well for Conway. I live 8 minutes from a boat ramp here. So feel like I can hopefully get the guys on some fish, and we can be competitive in that one for sure.
Garrett, you're third today overall with 138.5 inches, man. Congratulations, dude.
Yeah, I just wanted to say,
man.
what a pickup by Arkansas.
Oh, great. I mean, good job, Kyle, man.
Yeah, insane. Garrett, man, you hit us with a bang starting off. Not that Greg and I didn't expect that, knowing what you've done in the scene and nationally, but you still got to back it up, man. And you did the business, and I'm looking forward to what you're going to do in the future. And I love your attitude about it. And the thing I know Greg and I both love is, man, thank you for when you got some service today, hopping on and give us an update. Good, bad, and different, man. We love that.
That was huge.
We want to know what you're doing.
We did, man. We truly enjoyed that, man. That was a very professional thing to do, man. Thank you.
Very, very.
Well, yeah, like I said, I apologize for not being a little bit more prepared. I kind of got a tail end, kind of info, but I'll have something ready for Caddo. Not saying I'll go down there and duplicate what we did today, but I promise you, I will catch at least one big fish down there. But I was going to show y'all this little guy here. It's kind of what did the trick. You see, it's got a little bit of blue. Let's see which way I got to get it in there.
There you go.
But a little bit of blue, a little bit of yellow on the back side, but just a little 1/4 ounce buzz bait. Ended up putting a trailer hook on it late, but we'll stick it.
I love it, Garrett. Thank you, man, for sharing that information. A lot of people are just like, hey, they're hiding the juice. They don't want to talk about what they did, man. But, dude, this is what it's about, man. Educate, entertain, and edify, man. And you did all three, my friend. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Right on. Well, appreciate y'all having me. And
yeah, man.
Thank y'all for putting this on.
Congratulations on a great day. And, man, rest up, man, because Caddo's coming up quick, bud.
All right, man. Y'all have a good one. I'm out.
Take care, Garrett.
You as well.
That was fun, man.
Dude.
That was I mean, we'll have to get him and Derek Brundle to do like a lesson on how that's done, man. That's good stuff.
Yeah,
man. I love it.
Train the boys up. This is how you talk about your baits. You market your baits. You market yourself. Yeah, man. That guy knows what's up, man.
Yeah, he knows what's up, man. That's good. That was a pleasure to talk to.
Absolutely.
Well, we've got the next matchup was Alabama Hammers. We talked to Coley McGowan during the broadcast, man. What a stellar performance he did. They beat the Carolina Casters. It was 172.75. Carolina Casters coming off a big victory against Florida. But man, coming into Neely Henry, again, it's hard to win on the road. But Alabama just absolutely hammered them. And no pun intended. But Carolina takes the loss. They're, I believe, 1-2 or 1-3 in the season. Alabama's undefeated, 0-3. And Coley McGowan leads the entire day and just put look at that. I mean, all but 2 inches? All but 2 inches was Coley McGowan. I mean, come on. What say you, Blake? That's when you have a guy like that and knows his home waters. That's hard to beat, bud.
Man, like what he did is just insane. But we have seen that from other teams during this. What I'm really noticing, man, is you need really, really versatile guys on your team. We are seeing the differences in these away teams that have these guys that are very versatile. They're very competitive on the road. And then we're kind of not seeing that out of some teams. I understand there's tough fisheries and different fisheries and all that stuff, but we had a few matchups today where, man, teams did not travel well. And there's kind of been some of that every week.
Well, I mean, and look, man, the playoffs, there's only going to be one team that's going to have home field advantage, right? The winners of each division that will not have to travel. But I was talking to a couple guys on teams today, and here's what they're concerned about. They're looking forward to the playoffs, and they're just trying to strategize. They're not looking ahead by any means. But one of the common things that we were talking about the playoffs is you got such teams that are just full of like. Let's talk about Motor City Ambassadors, who leads the North 3-0. Okay, Yep. You've got some guys on there. A Jeff Fader, an Eric Polenz, a Jeremy Baker, a Matt Linseman, a Zach Soler, that team is stacked, and they're 3-0 for a reason. Who's going to start the playoffs? Who are you going to start?
That I feel like, while we can discuss that to a hair, do you not want that luxury?
Oh, I would absolutely want that luxury. But you see, the problem is now you have like let's talk about Massachusetts Maulers. If they
Sure.
make it to the playoffs, you've got a Ken Wood, Derek Brundle, Matthew Conant, Mike Barcone, John Ferreira. I mean, these guys, if they make it to playoffs, they go to the first game. Let's say they have to travel. Let's say to Rhode Island. Who's going to travel? Who are you going to start on that team, man? I mean, that's where you have these kayak fishermen are so competitive that all of them can be very capable of doing damage in the playoffs. The coaches and these team owners are going to have an absolute nightmare trying to figure out who's going to be the four that their season is on the line. Who's going to make it to that team? That is going to be interesting. To find for me, that's gonna be interesting for me to find out.
100% will be so interesting to see how they choose to do that. Who gets chosen?
Yeah,
but like we don't have to sugarcoat it to just playoffs. Week in, week out, there's hurt feelings.
Yeah.
If you're a competitor, you want to fish.
Yeah.
And at least myself being competitive, like if I was on a team, like when you look and they barely lose, you're like, I could have made the difference. And there's going to be that, man.
Yeah, I mean, and look. Let's just be honest, man. The kayak fishermen are a little sensitive. We're a little sensitive, man. And when we sit because they think us we're not good enough, but yet your team goes on and lose. I mean, how is the chemistry of that team going to happen? Especially when we go to next year, man. I mean, that's going to be. I mean, this is the drama within the drama. This is what's so great about this, man. Because again, anybody on like Rhode Island, I mean, anybody of those guys, any one of those starters can absolutely tear it up. And look what John DeCenzo did today. I mean, you're gonna sit John DeCenzo at home.
Yeah, I mean, and something we probably haven't discussed that is going to come to fruition here throughout the season is for the teams that are winning, it's real easy to be agreeable when you're winning. It's real easy to say, "Oh, I support my teammates. We're winning. You guys are all good." When you start losing, that's different for these teams on these 0-3 skids, or you had back-to-back losses. Like everything comes under a microscope when that starts happening.
For sure.
So
I bring up
West Virginia. This next matchup they got, man. I hope those guys are on the same page because they're starting to feel the heat a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, and again, I mean, I'm not saying that it has happened in West Virginia, but like you're talking about, they've got to get back to the bottom line. They've got to get communicate and say, look, man, this is what we got to do. Let's get on the same page and all that stuff. But, I look at other teams like this. I mean, you got Lone Star Bandits. I mean, that team is stacked to the hill. It's going to be interesting. I'm very interested to see what happens, with the end of the year coming in, and then how are they going to wind up, finishing the year? Are they going to finish undefeated? If Alabama finishes undefeated, the point spread is going to matter. And then, who's going to start between? I mean, this is going to be so exciting between now and the playoff run. It's going to be awesome. So, but we got one more game to talk about, man. This is going to be the Massachusetts Maulers. They go across state and they take care of business. 151.75 to 129. They won, and it looked like Massachusetts was going to take this handily, but Bay State Attack actually, came back there towards the end. I'm going to be honest with you, man. I love the Maulers. I'm a big fan of the Maulers. But you know what, man? I'm finding out the Maulers do. They both win and lose very close.
Yes.
Very close.
They both do, man. I love Bay State picking up I'm not calling him Mr. New York yet, man. Our
Adam
Southern
Patrone.
boy, Adam Patrone. I've had the pleasure of competing against Adam a lot, and he is so hard to beat. He's not putting up 95 every time, but like when he has a bad day, it's 87, it's 88. I mean, he's so consistent, and when you get to fish with someone like that, while the rest of their team is already sticks, like, man, it really raises your level. And since he's come to Bay State, I feel like they're just very, very, very solid. I love to see that. Love to see that.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, Bay State, I think they're on like a 2 or 3 game losing streak right now, man. I think they've got 1 victory so far, but man, you know, that team, it's. I'm not saying Adam Patrone is 100% necessary for them to win. Because I firmly believe. I mean, we saw Valver Santos throw up a tank today. We saw, you know, Jack Tibbins is on that team. You know, there's some pretty good players on this team. But you know, Mike Elrick's on that team. But man, I'm actually shocked. Bay State did not put up more numbers today on that home pond of theirs. Man, I really am. I thought it was going to be closer than that. I really did.
Yeah, you know, we got to talk to Brundle and Conan earlier, right? And they were like, this fishery is known for having tons of bass, but they're not big.
Yeah, it was a dink fest, right?
And so I don't know if that kind of came back to bite Bay State a little bit, maybe. You know, they were on areas that had fish, but they just weren't the right fish. And then, unfortunately, you ran into Brundle and Conan on the same school, and in 30 minutes, they ended the day.
Well, look at it like this. I mean, I'm looking at the scores right now. I want you to see this. I don't know if it's so much of a dink fest as anything else, but look at this, man. A 21, a 20 and a half, 19, 18, 18, 16 and a half, 15 and a half. They just didn't fill their limit, man.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, they may have caught, what, 80 fish to 100 fish today, but
yeah,
the majority of them weren't big because
Yeah.
it wasn't like the maulers just filled their limit either, right?
No. I mean, they didn't. And but I would say overall, I mean, the two kickers came to Bay State. So again, I mean, you know, it's just one of those days, man. You had to cycle through so many dinks, like Derek was talking about. You know, he caught like 35 fish, and I think only 3 of them wound up being, you know, worth the board, so to speak. So again, I mean, there's no doubt Massachusetts is a team to reckon with. No doubt. I'm a little, I don't know. I'm thinking like Massachusetts Maulers on the same thing as like Lone Star Bandits, you know what I mean? But I guess because the Northeast has got so many good fisheries that both teams can catch freaking, you know, limits at the yin yang, you know? So
Yeah.
I just don't like the close games that they're having. I haven't seen them blow anybody out yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, we're starting to see this home field advantage thing when it's not a true knockout fishery, where it's like if you're on bigs, you're on pigs.
Right.
You know, I think you guys went to West Virginia, right? And what did West Virginia put up on y'all?
28.
28 inches.
Yep.
Sure, there's the home field advantage of we don't think the other team can fill a limit, but 2 lucky bites and you get bit real quick. And I feel like that's kind of what happened to Bay State today. I think they put them on that fishery thinking you're going to catch tons of fish. It's hard to get big ones. And unfortunately, Conan and Brundle
Figured it out.
Heater, man.
Figured it out. Yeah, I think the weather may have helped them a little bit. Don't you think?
Got to, but
they fished the same. They fished the same water, same, you know, same weather. So anyway, I mean, look, I'm a huge fan of Massachusetts Maulers, man. I am, but it's just gonna be interesting again if they make it to the playoffs. How's this gonna pan out, man? You know what I mean?
The thing that's hard with Massachusetts is like 1, they travel really well, and then 2, for my money, they probably have the most seasoned, adaptive fishermen.
No question.
On the team.
No question.
On any team.
Right.
So.
Yep. No question. No doubt. Well, I have not done the calculations, and we'll put we'll kind of put an idea of who is in the playoff if the season ended today. We'll put that out there. Stay tuned for the KFL Facebook page for a lot of the information. You know, those little asterisks and say playoff contenders or whatever, you know what I mean? Or, you know, all that stuff. We'll be able to figure all that out this week. But anyway, it's been fun. Another great week, man. Thank you guys for coming on. It is about an hour of KFL live. Or KFL tonight. And man, week 4 is in the books. Whew, man, lots going on, man. 5 and 6 are coming up. A couple bye weeks between now and then, man. A much needed rest for these guys who are just putting on the miles, putting in the effort, man, catching these fish, and man, it's coming to a close here shortly, man. It's unbelievable.
You got a number 1 in the north and a number 1 in the south right now?
I do. It is Motor City Ambassadors take the number 1 spot, and Alabama Hammers are taking the number 1 spot out of the South. So those are your 2 leaders of the North and South right now.
Are those your leaders? Are
They
they
are.
your number 1?
They are my number 1s.
You put them up against anybody else in their conference, you think they got it?
If they're at home, I think it's lights out.
I'm talking like neutral
No, I
site.
mean-
You think they're the best team?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I like it. I am
Yes.
real torn.
Let me say this again. I have to put an asterisk by that because again, they earn their home waters and they earn that right to be competing at home. If Alabama is pretty much untouchable at Neely Henry, we've already seen that.
Yes.
And then obviously Motor City Ambassadors, they fished Fletcher's and they fished Kent, and they've won both. They have yet to get on St. Clair.
Yep.
And they are now just absolutely running roughshod. And so St. Clair is their body of water, I think, in terms of, but they've defended in 2 separate areas. They've came to DC and they won the Potomac River event against the Warhawks. So they can travel, and they're dangerous out of the North. And I think they are the number 1.
I think they're very deserving of the number 1 spot. I would love to see them against the Maulers.
That may happen, but I think Rhode Island has something to say about that.
I think so too, man. I think so too. Rhode Island's no joke, man. I mean, they showed everybody today, and throughout the season they've been showing it. So,
yep.
I love how close it is. I love that we're even getting to debate it. I love that there's not just
Alabama, and of course the Lone Star Bandits are 1 and 2. Number 3, I'll have to take a look and see. But I think it would be Norfolk.
Yeah.
Norfolk.
The Bandits are traveling better than I thought they would.
We have 3 teams basically undefeated in the South right now, all battling it out. And if I was to rank them 1, 2, 3, I would go Alabama, Lone Star, and Norfolk. That's how I'd rank them.
We agree on 3. 1 and 2 is debatable for me. I definitely would have agreed, but I've not seen Alabama travel a ton yet. So
yeah, they've only gone to Carolina, which they did win. Which again was Tar Heel Lunkers, by the way, which I was shocked at that score. They only put up 1 fish on their home waters. But Alabama has Indianapolis going to them. That will be their last home game, and then I think they end the season in Florida, which they do, and then they go to they're at Indianapolis week 6. So I think they have a home and home.
Yep.
Yes, they have a home and home against Indianapolis, which is not easy because Indianapolis is, starting to catch fire. And then they end the season at Florida. So,
and that's my only reason I'm going to put the Bandits number 1 is the Bandits have traveled to Arkansas.
Yep.
They've been to Louisiana. They went to Southeast Texas. They smashed at home. So they've got some home games coming up.
Yep. Could be tough.
Yeah, but for me, the team that's traveling and getting the dubs is worth more than sitting on
the home wins
and collecting your dubs. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun, man. As I said, it's gonna be a lot of fun to see what happens. Again, I mean, these guys got to finish strong, man. I mean, a lot of them you can't stumble in the playoffs, man. You're not just gonna stumble in because you got to get that momentum in and take care of business. But a lot of drama to unfold here in the next couple of weeks, guys. Thank you for taking your time out and spending a little time with us. Blake, thank you so much, man, for all the time you spent today. That was a lot of hours behind the microphone today, bro.
It's no problem, man. It was fun. I mean, it's always fun when the anglers do the business, and our anglers across KFL did work today, guys. Thank y'all so much for coming on with Greg and I.
Yeah.
Sharing your fish catches, sharing your knowledge. Huge shout out to y'all. So,
yep, no doubt. Guys, have a great night. We will see you later. Take care. Bye.